Hi, this is Pete Peterson. You are watching Medfield.tv.
Access to our community.
Today at the show, my name is Pedro Laredo. I live in Walpole, have 3 kids, and I'm very delighted to be here and talk a little bit about Peru, our culture, our food, and some of the things that we do from back home.
Hello, I'm Aditi Thatte, Executive Director at Medfield TV. I'm here to talk about the culture of Peru, the culture, history, traditions, and food with our guest, Pedro Laredo.
Hi.
Welcome, Pedro. How are you?
Good, thank you.
So give us a little bit of information about the history of Peru.
Sure. First and most important, thank you for inviting me today at the show. My name is Pedro Laredo. I live in Walpole, have 3 kids, and I'm very delighted to be here and talk a little bit about Peru, our culture, our food, and some of the things that we do from back home.
Okay, and so I understand you have a new place in Medfield.
Yes, yes.
So,
we do.
and Peruvian food.
Yes, the place is called Antara. Just to go back to answer your question about the Peruvian culture, Peru is located in South America. It's near the Pacific Ocean. It's divided in 3 zones: the coast, the Andes, which is the mountains, and the Amazon. There's about 30 million people in Peru.
Wow.
Our main language is Spanish. We do have 2 other languages that are, which is Quechua and Aymara, and those are mainly speaking in the mountains. Quechua comes from the Incas.
Okay.
And background of the Inca, the Incas is obviously the last empire of the Incas in South America.
Okay, it was also called the heart of the Inca Empire, right?
Yes, yes. That is in Cusco.
Okay.
Machu Picchu, which is Machu Picchu is well known in the world for one of the 7 wonders of the world.
Absolutely.
The altitude is about 40,000 above sea level.
40,000?
Yes, it's very high. And I had the opportunity to be there. It's an unbelievable trip.
Okay.
I encourage someone to visit our country. Very touristic. We have a lot of people from all over Europe that visit the place. Their celebration of the Incas is in June 24th. They have a big fiesta in Lima.
Okay.
And that's,
June 24th?
Yes.
Okay, so every year?
Every year at that time.
Okay. I know my daughter, that's one of her dream destinations.
Believe it or not, I've been in this country for 3 years, and I had the opportunity to visit Peru, my country, and I went to visit Lima in 1992. It was one of the greatest experiences that I ever had.
Okay.
So just the weight of the mountains, the altitude, how you're very close to the sky, and also, got to know the people there. Very nice. Some of the agriculture that's in our country, especially in Cusco, where we're well known for the corn.
Corn, okay.
The potato, and also
is it the purple potatoes, the blue?
Yes,
yeah.
the purple potato, and to get to know Machu Picchu, it's you have to take a trip first of all from Lima to Cusco.
Okay.
From there, you take a train that takes you probably about another 6 hours to get to Cusco.
Okay.
To closer to Machu Picchu, and then from there you take a bus to go to.
Wow. So that's the only way to get there?
That's the only way to get there. So, there's an airport in Cusco. From there you take the train, which is about 6-hour ride. And then from there you take another bus, which is about
I'm sure it's like a scenic, just as you're going up.
As you're going up in the mountains, you see, it's just unbelievable.
Okay, so I've seen some documentaries on it, but, I think the real experience, I'm sure, would be the best.
Yes, yes.
So, that's great. So, and just Spanish, again, is the official language, though. You still have the other 2 languages, but Spanish is the official language.
Spanish is the main language in our country.
Okay, and you speak Spanish?
Yes, I speak Spanish, and back in in 1979 they were introducing in the school, in some school, to learn another language, and that was either Quechua,
Okay.
which is a dialect, or English. And but Quechua is again, that's from the Incas.
Okay. So it's still spoken though. The
Yeah,
language.
they speak in some countries of Peru.
Okay.
You know, but again, you know, Quechua Aymara, and you know, obviously in the jungle there are many dialects
Within that.
within.
Okay, that sounds like India to me. We
Yes.
have so many official languages and then dialects. So
Yeah, and what's fascinating about Peru is just like the United States, we have so many cities. There's 24 departments in Peru,
okay.
and every department it's different.
So the department is like a province.
The department is almost like when you say Massachusetts, California,
Okay, like a state then.
like the state.
Okay.
Yes. So every region of Peru, you know, the coast, the Amazons, in the Andes, we all have different cultures, and that where the food gastronomy has taken off, you know, in the last 5 years or so.
Okay.
The Peruvian cuisine has grown enormously. Most of the where our food comes from is, you know, again, the agriculture that we have.
Okay. So what other crops other than corn and potatoes? What other crops do you
The
have?
chili.
Okay.
The chili, they have chili. It's well known in the country.
Okay. So you eat a lot of spicy food.
In some plates.
Okay.
In some plates. Most of our cuisines, we have a lot of influence from Spain,
Okay.
from German, Italy, China, Japan, and Africa. And what's interesting about that is this country, you know, people emerged to Peru, and they tried to make their own meal, but they didn't have the condiments that we had. So they use our own ingredients.
Okay.
With that, it's how it evolved the Peruvian cuisine.
Okay.
You know, our own taste and our own richness. And it's right now, Peru is probably number 3 in the world in the gastronomy food.
Wow, I didn't know that. Wow.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it's
So
cool.
what kind of foods typically? Like I am not really aware of Peruvian food, and I don't know. You know, the audience. There might be people like me who are not. So just tell us a little bit. For me, all I know is it's the potatoes and some of the meat dishes,
Sure.
and probably coastal food. But again, I'm not really familiar with Peruvian food.
Sure. Once again, I want to thank you for being here. I own a restaurant here in Medfield. The name of the restaurant is called Antara. What we did was put some dishes that brings in a lot of the food that you will normally have when you go to Peru. Most of our food, as I mentioned before, you know, we have a lot of influence from Japanese, Chinese, and so forth. Our food are very delicious. They're not spicy. We use some condiments. We use some cilantro,
Okay.
you know, garlic, and Peru is near the Pacific Ocean. We do enormous types of food in the seafood industry.
Okay.
You know,
So
the
what are
seafood-
some of the dishes that you have?
One of the main dishes when somebody goes to Peru, especially myself, if I wanted to go to Peru, ceviche.
Okay.
It's a tradition from our country.
Okay, see, I didn't know that.
Yeah, ceviche is very popular. So
I've heard, I mean, I know ceviche, but I didn't know that it was Peruvian.
yeah, it's a Peruvian dish.
Okay.
You know, and again, that is marinated with lime.
Okay.
You know, some people put garlic. Every chef does it different. It's very tasteful. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes to be, at the most 5 minutes to be marinated with lime, and it's cooked over that. Again, it's raw fish, you know, marinated with lime.
Okay.
Very tasteful.
All right. So then, is it grilled or how do you cook that?
It's marinated with lime. The lime cooks it over 5 minutes or so.
Okay.
And it's like, it's almost like, I wouldn't say sushi, but it's raw fish cooked
Oh, it
with
is raw
lime.
fish. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. And what else for?
The other plate that we have is, which is very popular in our country, is the lomo saltado.
Okay.
Lomo saltado is beef with sauteed onions, mushrooms, and we use, you know, pisco, which is a liquor from our country,
Okay.
to saute, to give a taste to the meat, and it's very tasteful. That comes with rice and potatoes.
Oh, okay, I'm ready for lunch. So, so those are some of the main dishes. Do you have any desserts?
The other main dish that people seem to like in a restaurant is the ají de gallina.
Okay.
People
so
really
that's
love
Japanese influence? Or?
The ají de gallina is from Arequipa, one of our cities from our country.
Okay.
In Arequipa, they call it the White City. They have, El Misti.
Okay.
Which
So
is
what's
the
that?
Harvey. The Misti is I would say like the volcano.
Okay.
And it's in Arequipa,
Okay.
and that's a plate from that specific part of Peru. Very well liked in the restaurant. People seem to like that a lot. We also have other places like seco de res, which is beef with rice, sauté with cilantro, garlic, and people seem to love that. There's a variety of food that we carry in Antara, from chicken to seafood to beef.
Okay. So
and-
you have
and
pretty
lamb.
much authentic foods from Peru.
Most of our products that we use, about 50% of them are from Peru.
Wow. Okay. How do you get those here?
We get them distributed from New Jersey. They come probably from Miami to New Jersey,
Okay.
and they get distributed here. And also, one of the item that's becoming very popular in the United States is the quinoa.
Okay. Yeah. So it's really health. I know my
Quinoa.
daughter uses a lot of that, and we've incorporated in our diet too.
Right, quinoa has high proteins.
Okay. It's a grain.
Yes, it's a
Okay.
grain, and people seem to love that. We have quinoa salad. We have quinoa with mushrooms, almost like a soup. Very, very tasteful. People seem to like that. As a matter of fact, I have my son, who's 15 months, and he just loves quinoa.
He does. Okay.
He loves quinoa.
So it's actually it's a very plain grain that takes on the taste of other things that you add to it, right?
Correct.
That's my understanding of it.
Yes, yes.
So it's kind of like a rice.
Right. It's kind of like a rice. When I took my son to the doctor about 4 months ago, I said, "Gee, my son stopped taking milk," and I said, "What do you give him instead?" I says, "Quinoa with a
Really?
little mix." He said, "You're doing great.
Okay.
Quinoa is probably a lot better than the milk," and so at many points.
I know with lactose intolerance.
Yes.
So does it have calcium in it, or like how is it a milk substitute?
It's got a lot of calcium. It's got
Okay.
it's got.
I didn't know that either.
It's got high proteins.
Oh yeah.
It's quinoa is good for the cholesterol.
Okay.
And
low calories.
Definitely low
Yeah.
calories. Low calories. It's good for people that like to eat vegetable foods.
Okay. Does it
They
cook
love-
fast?
Does it cook fast? It takes about 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay. Do you like pre-soak it or like how?
We
what do you do?
pre-soak it,
Yeah.
and then we boil it.
Okay.
And then, however the customer would like, that's how we prepare it, either, saute or on the pan.
Okay. So and it's generally served with
Generally, it's served, in this case, for example, the risotto con champiñones, which is quinoa.
Okay.
It's served on an oval plate, and it's got some milk in there, and it's got the quinoa, and obviously it's got some spices to give some add.
Okay.
To the,
I'm very curious. There's a lot of milk in the Peruvian cooking, which is an unusual, like in the savory dishes, it's not a dessert, but in the main dishes, you have milk added. Because I know that I had some soup the other day, and there were
Yes.
vegetables in it, and milk. So
Yes, that like the chupe de camarones, which I think I don't know whether or not you had that soup in at.
Okay, no, I think you made like a custom because I'm a vegetarian, so you made me some
But
custom food.
we do. We use a lot of milk. As a matter of fact, in some of the foods that we have, we add a little bit of milk to give taste, even on the ceviche.
Okay.
Sometimes some chefs will use it, but it adds a little taste to the food. It makes a big difference.
Okay. So for desserts, what kind of desserts?
The dessert that we have is it's the mazamorra morada, which is the purple corn.
Okay.
That is boiled, and it's got some maizena that gives a nice texture. And normally it's a winter dessert.
Okay.
It's served warm.
Is it
and
like a porridge? Or
it's like pudding.
pudding. Okay.
Yeah, it's like pudding. We also have the arroz con leche, which is the rice pudding.
Okay.
Again, that's a winter dessert, and we, occasionally we do our homemade desserts. Like, this week we had a coconut cake,
Okay.
very tasteful, But our main focus in the Peru food is to try to show the consumer, number one, the culture,
Okay.
where we're from, what kind of food does Peru offer, the diversity of people that came to Peru to make the Peruvian cuisine happen and where it is now. And most important, to people really enjoy the culture, the atmosphere. And that's why when I decided to open up Antara, I want to make it a place that is very home,
Okay.
that people can enjoy and they can say, wow, I never had this before. It's very tasteful. I
think you've done that because there are a lot of people, local and otherwise, that are coming in and enjoying the music. So you've set the atmosphere too within the new place that you have. So that's really nice. So it feels like you went to a restaurant in Peru. So
right. What we're trying to one of the key points in the restaurant business is number one, we want to get as close as we can in terms of having the product available to the customers and what Peruvian food has to offer. Again, it ranges from seafood to chicken to beef, lamb. So the variety is big. The other thing that we're trying to promote is our culture. Machu Picchu. Where is it located? The different types of stuff that we have from our country, and the music. Music is very important.
Okay. And your restaurant is named for the musical instrument, I think.
Yes, right? Antara is an instrument that is played back, in the mountains. It's almost like a flute, and that's how the name of Antara arrived at.
Okay. And I think I was telling you that in Indian, Antara is part of a song, so that somehow languages are connected. And I just feel that, universally we are all connected in some way or the other with our different histories and cultures.
Yes. So we're very pleased to be in Medfield, very pleased to be part of the community. We want to do our best to show the people in Medfield that there's a Peruvian restaurant in Medfield, and I will welcome them to try it out.
Yeah,
and
we're happy to have you here. It's it's nice to have a different restaurant to go to. So it gives us a little more variety and diversity within a small town like Medfield.
It's a small town, and believe it or not, I ran to many customers that have come to the restaurant, and they have a reference where they have been there, their son was there, or they have a friend of them that works in Peru, or they're going to visit Cusco, and they really know a lot about my country, which at one point I was saying, wow, they really know my country. And even on the menu that I have, it was kind of interesting when I first did the menu, and I said, gee, how do we do this? The menu, if you can look at it, it says Antara, but what's very interesting about it, it shows different cities within the department.
Okay.
And I have two customers saying, as soon as they got the menu, he said to me, I've been to that place.
Okay.
So it was kind of interesting to know that, people do know Peru. People do know our food.
That's amazing. So I think, people are well-traveled these days. Yes,
they're very oriented. They know about Peru, and they have tried Peruvian food in United States, like California.
Okay.
So people really know, and the people that are coming in now, they ask about, what's Peruvian food like.
Okay.
And I often get calls about takeouts, and what I don't want to deceive the customer is that, being a new restaurant, very important to try at the restaurant to see what it's like, so that I can get a good sense of what they like, what they don't like, so that I can probably enhance the way that we're doing our food.
Okay, so I think it's a great customer service that you do. You listen, so that's important, and then you're willing to change and adjust accordingly. So, Pedro, I'm really interested to know how you got to the United States. We all have our stories, so I'm sure your story is so much more interesting as well.
Yes. Well, I came here in 1979. My mother came in 1977, and I was only 13.
Okay.
So my mother decided to come to the United States for education.
For the children's education.
For the children's education. There's 4 of us in our family, and when I came, it was a different world to me. Obviously, I was 13, my adolescence. I have left some friends, and didn't speak the language.
Okay. Did you study English when you were back home?
I did.
Okay.
But it's totally different when you actually came when I actually came to the States. But one of the things that growing up, I went to a Catholic school, but what I always remember was from the years that I was growing up, I always wanted to do something, and I always wanted to finish school.
Okay.
I always wanted to excel in life, but I wanted to do good in everything that I do. And if I can give 100% or more, then I know that's the best that Pedro can give.
So you brought that to the United States at 13. When you were 13, you knew sort of, you wanted to succeed.
Right. When I came to the United States, I finished my grammar school.
Okay.
I did my high school. Then I went to college. And then as the years went by, I realized how much opportunity this country has to offer, especially for the immigrants.
Right.
And
so were you always in food business, or did you do something else before?
My background is in finance.
Okay.
I worked in the restaurant business for 10 years, and I decided to step back. Number one, for the long hours. It's a lot of hard work, and 20 years later, I decided, I'm going to try to do something on my own.
Okay. So once you're a food person, always a food person, I know that.
And given the opportunity that the Peruvian cuisine is growing in every part of the state, it gave me the opportunity to launch something in Medfield, where it's a very unique town, and there's a lot of opportunity for me to grow. Meeting the people that come every day in the restaurant, I learn something from them. Okay. And I want to take something or learn from them and give them a little bit about me. So coming to this country I've been very fortunate. I want to thank the Lord first, but I feel that if you try hard and you do it consciously with faith, that's all you can do.
Okay, I agree with you.
There's not much you can do, just do the best you can, and we're all humans. We're allowed to make mistakes.
Absolutely. So do you get to visit often? Do you go back home to Peru?
Yes, I was home in January for 3 weeks. Okay. I knew that I wanted to open up a restaurant, so I went home to find out about the food industry. Okay. And it was growing. Before January, I was there 3 years ago, and over the last 3 years, it has grown tremendously. Okay. There's a lot of schools, culinary schools for chef. Okay. So I was there in January, and I really enjoyed what I saw. And then back in April, I was there for 2 weeks. At that point, I knew that I wanted to do something in the food business. Okay. But the location, and very blessed to be here in Medfield, which is 3 miles from my home, and it's convenient. Okay. So
you have chefs from Peru?
My chef is from Peru.
Okay.
He started culinary school
in Peru.
In Peru.
Okay.
And he is a wonderful guy to work with, very energetic, so always willing to do and go beyond. Okay. His name is Luis Caballero, and I support him. One of the main things that we both have going on is that we want to explore new things with our food. Okay. We have daily special, not daily special, but on the weekends we have daily specials. That's aside from the menu. And we want to cater to the people to see what do they like. Mm-hmm. do they like chicken, do they like beef, to be able to give what the consumer needs and what they like, and give them a little bit of taste of where we come from.
Okay, no, I think that's exciting, and we are really happy to have you here, and have a new place that's different in Medfield. So we are always looking to go out and eat somewhere and try new different things. And even though we're limited as vegetarian, as if I speak for my family, we still are able to go and enjoy the foods. But for people who like everything else, they should go and try new foods.
It is, learning about food gives you an opportunity to learn about people's culture.
Mm-hmm.
Be able to know what the culture is like, how people react, what do they do, what's the background. And I often speak to every customer that comes in. We spend about 5 minutes talking about, how I started, what's my background. It gives me a great opportunity to really tell them why I opened up the restaurant. Okay. And they're very happy. And one of the things that I'm trying to promote is the awareness that going out to dinner or lunch, it's a pleasant thing to do. Mm-hmm. There's nothing like going out to dinner and having a nice meal, relax, and you don't want to be rushed out.
Plus, in this day and age, families, you get together in a nice, relaxed atmosphere in a restaurant, close to home. You don't have to go far. I think that's really nice. The other thing is, since we are going into the holiday season now, I was just wondering if there's any traditions that you follow that are different from what you'd see here.
Sure. Christmas is very different for us. We celebrate Christmas on midnight of the 24th.
Okay, so I think a lot of South Americans do.
Yes,
I have friends.
So we do the turkey.
Okay.
Or sometimes we do the pig.
Okay.
And we
are
have
those, we didn't talk about the turkey or the pork. So that's something that you do for special occasions?
Special, yeah.
Okay.
We do that, and we celebrate at midnight.
Okay.
And we have Peruvian hot chocolate.
Okay.
And we have panettone, which is sweet cake.
Italian, yeah.
The Italian cake. And we open our gifts.
Okay. Midnight.
At midnight.
Yeah.
That's the tradition. Midnight, we stay up until 4 o'clock in the morning. After we eat, we open up our gift. It has been a tradition for me for 40 years or plus.
And as a kid, that must have been awesome to be able to stay up and, not sleep the whole night.
I have 3 kids, 22, 20, and 15 months, and they enjoy that. They really enjoy waiting until the end of the, And I do remember as my kids were growing up, they said, let's open up the I said, you have to wait until midnight.
Yeah.
And they will stay until midnight. And then, before you know it, they were having a good time. It was 3 o'clock in the morning, and they'll go to bed after they open up the fridge. So it's very, very different. And also New Year's Eve.
Okay.
We celebrate on the 31st. And one of the things that I guess is I wouldn't say tradition, but it's something that has gone for many years. Is people like to go out and buy, something that's yellow. For example, a lingerie for a woman that has yellow.
Oh, really?
It's very good. And then you eat 12 grapes.
Okay, what's the significance of the color yellow? Is it gold or yellow?
Yellow.
Yellow, okay.
A tradition of the New Year, eating 12 grapes, monetary wise.
Okay.
So those are little traditions there, and on that day again, it's big in my country. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, from December on, it's a lot of festivities.
Okay.
A lot of as I was growing up in Peru, until I was 14, we have fireworks.
Fireworks during
on the 24th. Yes, we go out and buy, fireworks.
Okay.
It was something that we enjoyed a lot.
Okay. Did you say June 24th? Is it for the
December 24th?
December 24th. So you'd have no snow.
No snow. As a matter of fact, right now we're heading into the summer season, and I'm glad that you mentioned that. Peru, as I mentioned, it has the coast. Mm-hmm. It's got the Andes. It's got the Amazon.
Okay.
It gives the diversity of how the food is put together.
Okay.
From all this region, it's got their own climate that makes it very unique for us to prepare a good meal.
Okay. And all the seasons are opposite compared to here.
Yes, and the climate really helps.
Okay.
You know, when you're looking at corn, you're looking at the mountains.
Okay.
When you're looking at seafood, you're looking at the Pacific Ocean, the coastal, which is Lima. So we're very, very pleased to have all of that
Okay.
in Lima.
And I also noticed that the corn was very different. It was much larger and flatter.
Yes,
So,
yes.
so is that something that's typical all over Peru or certain region?
That's typical in Peru. It's
Okay.
the corn, it could be bigger than this,
Okay, I think that's what I noticed, yeah.
and it's very good.
Okay.
When people come to Antara,
And it's kind of like a square.
yes,
Right.
yes, you know, and the Incas, what they do is they eat that with cheese, believe it or not.
Really?
When I went to Cusco, as I was going to Machu Picchu,
Okay.
you get on the train and you see the ladies, you know, getting up on the train, and they sell the corn with the cheese,
Okay, so cheese, like slices of cheese?
like
crackles and
feta cheese,
Okay.
you know, and
So that's interesting to me too. Feta, I always thought was Middle Eastern.
yeah.
And to think that, you know, you find something like that in Peru was very interesting to me. So you have some
Yeah.
Mediterranean influence as well.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, and you know, again, it's very interesting to know every city in Lima.
Okay.
The jungles, you got the Amazon. You know, the people are different there. They speak many dialects.
Okay.
You know,
Do you speak more than one dialect, or
I wish I did.
you speak Spanish?
I speak Spanish, English, and you know, when I came in 1979, before I learned English, I spoke Greek.
Oh, you did? Okay. So
did,
you
I
understand
did.
Greek then?
Well, I was doing well for about a year,
Okay.
but that was my second language before English.
Okay.
And but what's important in life, and I guess what's important being here today, is to give, you know, to allow me to talk a little bit about our country, talk a little bit about Antara, the new restaurant in Medfield. But the dream that everybody has, to be able to sit here with you, to allow me to talk about perhaps the restaurant, myself, where would I be here 5 years from now? It's a good experience.
Okay.
It's an experience that this country has to offer, allowing to be here just to talk about maybe me, the food.
Yeah.
You know, it's great. I'm very happy to be here. Again, I wish everybody, you know, nice Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's. But more important is to live in peace.
Yeah.
You know, to have that state in mind at all times. No matter what happens, there's nothing you can do. You can't control that.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you were able to follow your dream, and I wish, you know, everybody else can do that. He's a great example of, you know, risking it, and I think giving back into the community, and I think you're doing a great job with that. So is there anything else that you want to say in closing?
Yes, I do want to thank my first of all, God, who had put me here today in front of the audience. I want to thank my wife, my kids, my parents, and definitely the people that come into the restaurant. I've been very blessed day and day, in and out, that they really like the food, they wish me well, and I want to give back to the community. I want to get more involved with the community and see how I can help students in high school.
Okay.
In terms of, you know, funding, you know, put back to the community, and also to understand the community a lot.
Okay.
You know.
All right, Pedro, it's been great talking to you, and good luck with your new restaurant. This is Aditi Thatte. Until next time, thanks for watching Medfield TV.
Production support provided by Medfield TV. Access to our community.